I mean, with Dan, what have we just seen? Arsenal scoring 7 goals away from home in the Champions League. I mean, we've not scored in 3 out of our last 4 games. We're coming up against a decent team tonight, second in their league. Okay, they've not been in the best of form, but it put Juve out in the previous round. A lot of people were saying that this could be a struggle. I personally predicted a draw. I think you might have had us winning 1-0, was it? Yeah. But nobody saw this coming, right?
Man, who said that Arteta couldn't get this front line scoring, right?
You did.
Listen, I did, and do you know what? I got to hold my hands up today because he tried something different tonight and he got it working, and we needed to see that. And I had massive doubts about it because of the evidence shown, but tonight you have to sit back and think, where was that against West Ham and Forest then? Because these are the same group of players. It's something up there, but it's also something on the pitch in terms of our free-flowing, allowing to express ourselves, fearless, intent going forward, the confidence on the ball, calmness and composure, and we had every single bit of that tonight in all of our front. And to be fair, not just our front men, I think our midfield as well. And certainly in the first half, I think there's a couple of performances that you could highlight, and there's certainly some that you could potentially question. But there's no question in the second half. I mean, we came out in that team talk, and it must have been carry on. And within 2 minutes, we've got 2 more goals, and it's basically tie over. Because, you know, Partey's made a silly mistake there to get them back into the kind of game. The crowd started to lift. It become a little bit more hostile after that opportunity for the penalty. But then we didn't allow that to get to our heads this time. And I think there's been probably evidence in the last couple of seasons, even before Mikel Arteta's time, particularly in Europe, where Arsenal have gone, we should really be kind of killing this game off, and we haven't quite been able to. Tonight, absolutely capitulated. Like they capitulated with PSV. We absolutely destroyed them. So yeah, some would say tie over already, Laurie.
Yeah, well, listen, if they was to come back from this, that would be the biggest biggest comeback in the history of sports, mate. That would just be impossible. But back to tonight's game, it was an interesting, in the first half, an interesting run of play because they could easily have scored, couldn't they, first in this game. They had 2 chances in quick succession. They missed them. And Arsenal literally went down the other end, scored our first goal. And after we scored the first goal, we didn't look back.
Yeah, there were some more opportunities tonight for both teams to score. I mean, they hit the bar, as we mentioned. There was other opportunities, but Declan Rice scored a goal. As you remember, it was offside. He hit one that was just right. Brilliant save as well, by the way, to hit that and push that wide. Zinchenko had a chance in the second half. There was more chances for us to make this sort of 9 or 10, which is crazy when you think about it. PSV are not going through the greatest run of form, but I don't think it was a bad PSV side tonight. I think it was a bad PSV side alongside Arsenal on form. And that was why we put the 7 past them. Let's just be real. I think there's a lot of people that would potentially look at this and go, it was a poor PSV side. Hang on a minute. Everyone was saying 1-0, 0-0, 1-1. You can't then say when it's 7-1, but PSV were rubbish. Well, this is the PSV that were rubbish. You thought it was going to be 0-0, and I thought it was going to be 1-0 and 1-1.
Same PSV that beat Liverpool, by the way.
And Juventus. So you've got to look at that and think that fair play. And I think the manager deserves credit tonight, man. I've got to say it. I'm not been the biggest fan of him over the years in terms of trying to get us. Well, yeah, trying to get across the line. I think it's been justifiably so. However, I'll tell you this now, I will always criticise, but I'll always give praise when he deserved. And I think stuff that he has done off the pitch and stuff that he's done on the pitch when it has gone right, I have given him praise for. I've certainly got frustrated and angry when he's not done the stuff on the pitch as well. But tonight, I've got to say hats off. And hats off to the players as well. And in particular, 2 young lads. I know one of them only lasted 35 minutes, but the link up there, if I'm right, and I haven't looked this up, but I believe it's true, a 17-year-old and an 18-year-old now, that link up is the youngest goal in Champions League history from a goal and assist. Wow. Phenomenal. From our 2 youngsters, from our 2 Hale boys, 17 and 18-year-old that for me look special. Particularly a 17-year-old who's got an unbelievable first touch, someone who drives forward with the intent, the confidence and fearlessness of this kid to go forward and drive and look to get everybody off their seat when he's cutting in on that left foot. I'm a big fan, Laurie. I'm a big fan, bro.
But he still can't win Young Player of the Year, apparently.
Well, apparently Archie Gray is getting this. I mean, come on, man. Are we serious?
That is a scandal.
This is criminal if this happens, by the way. I'll tell you this now.
No, it's happened.
It has happened.
Yeah, Archie Gray got the Young Player of the Year.
I mean, is this because, what is it with
I don't know who awarded that, but I did see he got that.
So hang on a minute. Let me just get this right. They're 13th in the league, and they've put Archie Gray as the Young Player of the Year. We've got Ange Postecoglou, that was the London Manager of the Year. What is happening here with Tottenham? Who is actually betting on this? Who is giving these awards out? Because that's a madness for me. Look, Archie Gray.
Daniel Levy, probably.
Probably is, or his mate is giving him out, right? Listen, Archie Gray's a good player, but let's just be real. He hasn't got that special sort of aura that these two have. I mean, Miles Lewis-Skelly tonight, I think he did need to come off because he has something up there that I like about him. I'm not gonna say that he
Was it a sending off?
Potentially, it was another yellow. I think we were quite lucky, if I'm honest. However, I will say this: I don't want that to cut iron out of his game. I don't want him to go be getting sent off every week, by the way. But I like the little bit of bite. I think what he needs to do is mature, not change his attitude. I think he just needs to get something. This is where the management, the coaching staff, and the players all need to do their job now with these two. Because Ethan's not like that, to be fair to him, right? But Lewis-Skelly is a bit, right? So if you get hold of him,
Must be the Jamaican in him.
Maybe that's what it is, bro. You would know that, not myself, right? So I'm going to say this. I think personally, you've got the opportunity now to be a role model in that dressing room. The Declan Rices, the Martin Odegaards, the Gabriels, the Salibas, to put their arms around and say, listen, you're a special talent. And Ethan as well. Yeah. Let's make sure that we get you on the straight and narrow because we don't want you getting sent off every game. Because we've got to be realistic and we've got to be consistent. Because we've said it about Calafiori in terms of how rash he can be. Yeah. Lewis-Skelly's in the same bracket for me, I think, because he can be a little bit rash. We've seen that now tonight. We see it against West Ham. He's obviously got the sending offs against Wolves, which was then rescinded. He's got to try and iron that out if he can. But I love the kid, man. I've got a lot of time for him. And the link up between them two, if you are any part of that club, you're going to smile. And if you're a part of that family or that bond, or you've been a part of that coaching staff of them two at a young age, that'll be putting a smile on your face tonight, them two, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. What about Martin Odegaard? Now, it's interesting because I was on the info station and I've got to be honest, man, he was getting it at half-time. A lot of the fans, I thought it was a little unfair because I thought in the first half, listen, he didn't stand out, but I thought he had a steady first half. But some of the comments, they were saying, drag him off, this is disgraceful, terrible, blah, blah, blah. Definitely an overreaction, I think, from some. But in the second half, he stepped up, man. 2 goals and an assist. Your man of the match or not?
No, he wasn't my man of the match. I think he was treated pretty harshly, if I'm honest. I mean, some of the lads in the watch-along were saying not the best of games. And yeah, it was quite some poor touches, to be fair, from him and some poor passes. But I've kind of seen that from Martin Odegaard. What I did like was he had more of intent tonight to go forward, spinning on the ball, turn on the ball, driving forward, looking for that pass, looking for the creative spark. Some of the passes didn't come off, particularly in the first half, but you can't deny his performance tonight. He's got the 2 goals. I thought Trossard was probably better than him in terms of going forward. I thought he was really good tonight. I don't know what he'd take of it, but he was excellent because I saw him against Forest. Maybe he had a kick up the backside because he was fantastic tonight. Man of the match, I mean, a lot of people have spoken about Timber and Rice, and I'm going to go down that line, I think, because I was really impressed with both of them tonight. I thought Julian Timber and everything we did down that right-hand side was magnificent. Got the goal, knows that league well, knows that team well. And Declan Rice impressed because I've been a big question mark over where he plays and how he can deliver in that position, in that attacking 8. I've been a big fan of Declan Rice since he's come to Arsenal. I question his position long term there. Tonight, I thought he was excellent. I've got to say, he can do a job there. Perhaps I'm a bit harsh at times and I want to see perfection half the time. Maybe that's the problem. But when I listen to Declan Rice's future, I do see it in the 6 still. But he was phenomenal tonight. And we go into the potentially next round already now after one leg. I know people are saying, don't do it. But they're not. Are they going to win 6-0 at the Emirates? And if they do, I'll tell you this now, they probably deserve sacking on the spot, right? So it must be through now and we look towards the Madrid game. But this leads us into the Man United game. I want to see momentum now, Laurie. I don't want to see us going back to the Premier League. It doesn't matter. We're out of this one. Let's just rest everyone and get used to it. Let's go and get momentum now. Yeah. Momentum is key in football, man. So let's keep going, innit?
Absolutely. And I shouldn't do this because you're right. Even though it's 7-1, I think it's fair to say we are going to go through. Who would you prefer in the next round, the round of the last 8? And do you think we can beat either of those teams?
Okay, who would I prefer? Atletico Madrid. Let me tell you why. Because I want Real Madrid out. Yeah, because every single year they either stink their way over it or they get across the line somehow. They stink their way to the final and win it. And they've not deserved it some years, if I'm honest with you. 14 Champions Leagues. I don't want it. It'll be a great moment for Arsenal. I'm sure everyone will enjoy it. I'm sure the fan base will love going there. I think we're probably better suited towards an Atletico Madrid side for the pure fact that this side can go up against the Diego Simeone side, which is going to be a real hard, physical kind of battle. And I think that's what Arsenal have probably got. If you want to go and get someone you want to try and pass the ball around, I'm not so sure without our players of Saka's and Martinelli's quality, although we showed it against PSV tonight, can we do that at the Bernabeu? I think that's going to be a very different game, right? So for me, I will go Atletico Madrid, but I do believe both teams are going to be incredibly hard, if I'm honest with you. I know it was 2-1 tonight at Real Madrid. There's still a second leg, and that's going to be very difficult for them because it's a derby for them, right? So it's very, very difficult for them, kind of double whammy. So I would prefer Atletico Madrid out of the two because it's Real Madrid. In terms of how both are playing, they're both playing well. because actually Atletico Madrid are actually like looking like they could go for the title again this season, and they're in all the other two competitions as well, obviously Champions League and Copa del Rey. So yeah, I'll go Atletico Madrid, but either game's going to be tough, Laurie.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, thanks, Dan.